The story behind League of Legends, Episode 11, The Bilgewater Union. Bilgewater is a haven for smugglers, marauders, and the unscrupulous, where fortunes are made and ambitions shattered in the blink of an eye. For those fleeing justice, debt, or persecution, it is a city of new beginnings. No one on the twisted streets of Bilgewater cares about your past. It's a melting pot of cultures, races, and creeds, alive with activity at all hours. While incredibly dangerous, Bilgewater is also ripe with opportunity, free from the shackles of government, regulation, and moral constraints. If you have the coin, almost anything can be purchased in Bilgewater, from outlawed hextech to the favor of local crime lords. Nevertheless, come daybreak, the unwary are found floating in the harbor, their purses empty and their throats slit. The Bilgewater Union, commonly referred to as Bilgewater, is an island nation of the Blue Flame Islands, which are located in the southeastern coast of Valoran. Bilgewater was officially founded on September 19, 150 years ago, over time becoming a vital stop for trade ships traveling near the Blue Flame Islands. While this increased the nation's wealth and influence over Valoran, it has also made the nation a major refuge for piracy, and the island itself a tempting target for pirate raids. Rum is the nation's major export, which is made in the various pubs and taverns down Fleet Street. Before sailing into the port, onlookers can see the image of a white skull on a large rock behind the city. Locations: Baru. On the Isle of Baru, one of the isles of the Bilgewater island chain, battle isn't considered a test of strength but of will. These isles are the location from which the religion of Nagakaburos and its priestess originate from. Butcher's Bridge. Once an ancient stone bridge leading to a temple entrance, it's been kept up haphazardly and primarily serves now as a connection between the slaughter docks and one of Bilgewater's slums. Gangplank's Warehouse. Gangplank's Warehouse is situated at the end of the pier, guarded on three sides by sharks and razorfish-infested waters and on the fourth by the vicious Jagged Hookstock gang. His warehouse is full of loot and spoils from every corner of the world. In the aftermath of the destruction of the Dead Pool, Gangplank's spoils-filled warehouses have been plundered, and those who followed the dread pirate have forfeited their allegiance. Grey Harbor. The Grey Harbor was once an eastern port for Bilgewater. Many fishing vessels would dock here after their journey to the Guardian Sea. But 4 years ago, during the harrowing, the Wild Hunt led by Hecarim lays waste to the port. The location remains uninhabited to this day. Port Morn. Port Morn was located at the eastern part of the southern island of Bilgewater. 32 years ago during the Battle of Port Morn, the Revenant Mordekaiser led the harrowing on a night of slaughter. The location remains uninhabited to this day and some say that specters haunt its empty streets. Smuggler's Cove. Located at the northeastern part of Bilgewater, its primary purpose was for stashing pirating goods. No inhabitants have been spotted near the location after the last harrowing. Slaughter Docks. In addition to the deadly currents, hidden reefs and the constant threat of piracy, massive sea monsters are a constant threat in the waters around Bilgewater. Fleets leave port at sunset every night to hunt these mighty beasts. If successful, they return to the slaughter docks to render the once great creatures down to meat, bones, and armored hides. Slaughter docks are located in Rat Town, beneath Butcher's Bridge. The sea around the slaughter docks is often darkened by the blood of slain sea monsters. The chum draws sharks and other predators into the many harbors, stirring up a violent froth. Slaughter fleets leave port at sunset every night to hunt mighty sea monsters. As rivals represented by unique symbols and traditions, many of the fleets constantly fight among themselves for dominance. One of the oldest and fiercest dock gangs in Bilgewater, the Jagged Hooks, swear undying allegiance to Gangplank. They take their name from the wickedly curved tools many of them use while hunting sea monsters. Southern Beacon. The Southern Beacon was an old structure used by ship captains to guide them away from rough shores. After the harrowing battle that occurred at the location some 9 years ago, the Southern Beacon was destroyed. Red Town. West Bay is the main entrance to the largest settlement of Bilgewater, Rat Town. Butcher's Bridge, which is located upstream and above the slaughter docks, acts as a gate to the inner parts of the city as well as the bridge to the Temple of the Mother Serpent, one of the largest and most important structures of Bilgewater's previous native inhabitants. Because of the city's mixed cultural heritage, location boasts a large variety of architectural designs. From inverted Freldredian lodgeships against the carved cliff faces to the structures and carvings of the indigenous population. Fleet Street has various pubs and taverns and boasts the nation's finest rum, such as the Brazen Hydra, which patrons could be heard all the way to Diver's Bluff. Freeman's Eyrie, the Siren, and the Dead Pool are also notable locations of the city. The Dead Pool. Anchored near the slaughter docks, the enormous, three-masted behemoth, Gangplank's flagship was one of the most infamous vessels in Runeterra. Inherited after his ruthless patricide, the Dead Pool was as much a reminder of the Dread Captain's power as it was the physical manifestation of it. When Gangplank's ship returned to port, laden with loot from his latest piracy or high seas victory, it first berthed near the slaughter docks to deposit new riches in the captain's warehouse. It has since been destroyed, and his remains are scattered all across the slaughter dock and White Wharf seabed. White Wharf. Located near the slaughter docks, Bilgewater's White Wharf had earned its name thanks to the layer of bird waste covering it from end to end, which was only to be expected at a resting place for the dead. In Bilgewater, the dead are not buried, but given back to the ocean. A grave of the sunken dead hung suspended in the cold depths, marked by hundreds of bobbing grave buoys. Some of the graves of poor residents have merely name posts, tied on moss to old anchors beneath waterlogged barrels. The wealthy residents have elaborate tombs with lavish bobbing tombstones with carvings resembling rearing krakens or buxom sea wenches, interred within expensive submerged caskets below. The boatman ferries the bodies of the departed to the various graveyards scattered about the straits surrounding the city. Culture. The indigenous culture of the Blue Flame Isles is highly respected by the inhabitants of Bilgewater, and aspects of it have been incorporated into daily life. The native people's knowledge of the ocean and its denizens is second to none. No ship is able to navigate the perilous straits around Bilgewater without their guidance. Those of indigenous descent often hold key roles in Bilgewater's fleets and gangs and are regarded with almost mystical reverence, as are the rare few embraced by the community. Bilgewater is a relatively lawless nation, particularly in the pirate-run slums. The majority of the island's denizens carry a variety of weapons, which range from cutlasses to pistols, in order to protect themselves at all times. Traditionally, the Bilgewater warriors coat their weapons with the remains of their drinks the night before a battle or raid. This has the effect of increasing the pain of wounds caused and often spreads diseases such as gangrene, inhibiting their enemies' ability to fight back. Many of their larger ironclad ships are also outfitted with multiple cannons that can strike targets over long distances. The native inhabitants of Bilgewater are rugged seafaring folk, and many, naturally, are also pirates. While some vessels are kept protected within safe waters, their nation has little jurisdiction over what occurs in the open seas. Sailors intrepid enough to venture out there are free to decide their own fate and fortune. Many Bilgewater pirates also sail to other nations and are known for their raids on settlements. Massive sea monsters are a constant threat in the waters around Bilgewater, and over the centuries, a trade industry has grown out of hunting and harvesting them. The nature of the beasts' attraction to the islands is unknown, but their impact cannot be denied. Seeing behemoths rise from the deep is just part of a normal day for grizzled veterans of the criminal haven. As a result, sea monster iconography can be seen all over the nation's structures and other everyday objects as part and parcel of Bilgewater's unique appearance. Bilgewater lacks natural building resources, forcing its inhabitants to scrounge whatever they can. It's common to see remnants of ships from as far as Ionia, Demacia, and the Freljord incorporated into the architecture. Whether by magic or ancient architectural design, serpent callers use hollowed-out pillars to mimic the screams and screeches of the denizens of the deep, summoning them to the surface or chasing them away. One such serpent was called upon during one of the recent harrowings to aid Bilgewater against the undying horde's onslaught. Nagakaburos. Locals pay respect to an ancient sea monster, deity depicted as a monstrous creature said to dwell in the abyssal darkness below the islands, which some call the Bearded Lady. When arriving in and leaving port, sailors throw offerings overboard in the hope of quelling her wrath. Also known as Nagakaburos and the Mother Serpent by the indigenous people of the islands around the city, the patron deity of Bilgewater is the goddess of motion, sky, and the sea. Myths about her date back centuries, and it's a reckless sailor who fails to drop the traditional tithe into the serpent's well upon docking his ship in Bilgewater. Elay, the goddess priestess, tests weaklings and the dead to see if they pass Nagakaburos' judgment. The goddess directly intervened in one of the recent harrowings to stop the black mist from destroying the entire city of Bilgewater. Tamkench. Old Tamkench's likeness marks dens of avarice throughout Bilgewater. A symbol of greed and uninhibited freedom, the River King's face appears as lewd graffiti almost as often as it is a guidepost for those looking to satiate tastes of an indelicate sort. Bilgewater Days. On September 19th, 150 years ago, the port city, later known as Bilgewater, was officially founded, creating a haven and destination to pirates and seafarers everywhere. What started off as a one-day celebration of Bilgewater's origin became a weekend, and due to the ruckus nature of the island's inhabitants, celebration spread through the entire month. September has come to embody sailors enjoying the end of the temperate season, drinking the last of the summer ales and participating in unruly games to prove their worth as the fiercest pirate in Valoran. Relations. Bilgewater is a sea monster hunting crime haven, a home to a wide variety of denizens seeking adventure, fortune or clandestine careers. While the pirate-friendly town has little respect for the laws of other nations, they have their ports open for people from all the world's corners. Freljord. At least some inhabitants in Bilgewater are Freljordian descent, and occasionally one finds inverted Freljordian longships against the carved cliff faces. Freljordian fishermen constantly trade with the nation. Piltover. As Runeterra's biggest black market, Bilgewater trades all manner of illicit hextech pilfered from Piltover. Bandle City. Ties between Bandle City and Bilgewater have always been a little tense, mainly due to the occasional pirate assaults on Yordle vessels. Ionia. During Noxus hostilities on Ionian soil, many pirates from Bilgewater sailed to the island nation. For years they ruthlessly pillaged the settlements along the island's coastlines and fought naval battles with Ionian vessels when engaged. Even after the war, many Ionians still feel deep enmity towards Bilgewater due to their denizens' actions. Noxus. Thanks to Gangplank's marauding against Noxian war fleets, Bilgewater and Noxus are on shaky terms with one another. However, Bilgewater pirates on occasion will assist the Noxian military, should they see the endeavor profitable. Though the Noxian military campaigns were eventually stopped, Katarina, the Sinister Blade, is a mainstay down at Bilgewater's Fleet Street. She can often be seen poking her head into the pubs and taverns in search of sailors down on their luck, offering an even share of the plunder to those willing to sail under her command. At some point the saltwater scourge managed to steal the Leviathan, Swain's personal warship, earning the personal enmity of Noxus's Grand General. After Gangplank's fall from power, it is unknown if relations between Bilgewater and Noxus have improved. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to share video and subscribe us channel.